Carl, just to follow up on that. I
Look at the way he sat.
Your mates and stuff, but don't you get sick of them calling you a moron?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Say hello, Leora.
Hello.
See, I don't get this with AVA. I'm just laughing my head off now. And I haven't done anything yet. So, thank you for joining me today.
Oh no, thank you for tracking me down at last.
I'm beating you around the head with your hot water bottle that's a foot long.
Yeah, exactly. Because I tend to in winter time. It's like, no, I'm in the cave. I'm in my cave.
So you've not been on my channel for a while, have you?
No.
But you've been enjoying from afar.
Oh, I have, most definitely. Last night was hilarious.
Oh, the Idiot Abroad. You're going to do that in a minute with us, aren't you? Me and Davey.
Oh, yeah.
So, because you're a Carl Pilkington fan, aren't you? You love Carl Pilkington.
I love Ricky Gervais, love Stephen Merchant, and I love Carl Pilkington. So
why do you like him for? Why do you like him so much?
Because well, Ricky Gervais just says what we're all thinking, but what people don't want to say.
Yeah, but still does.
And oh my goodness, I've seen him when he does the awards, and I think to myself, you guys either don't get the British humour or you get it, but you just accept the fact that this guy is roasting you and telling you home truths at the same time. Carl Pilkington, what can I say about him? He just is, isn't he?
Head like a fucking orange.
He's blooming great. He can take something so small and then
the funny thing is, right, since I've been doing the Ricky Gervais show, people in work have started watching it and they've been pointing at me going, bald fucking orange to me.
It's true though.
It's not fair. My head's not that round.
I'm not saying a word.
Anyway, we're going to get into this reaction now before we run out of time. So are you ready for some fun?
I am indeed, always up for it. Fun.
Okay, let's get into this reaction then.
Art has genuine information about culture and the wonders of the world, and it brings humor to our network. The 8-episode docuseries follows the grandest practical joke.
Oh, if it goes a bit glitchy on your side, it should still be playing.
Long time.
Okay,
it features Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, the Emmy Award-winning geniuses behind The Office, Extra, and many other incredible projects, and their friend Carl Pilkington.
I think Carl sees things very different to the rest of us. He's a true artist. He sees the world differently. He does investigate. He does do what science does. He says why, how, without prejudice as well. And I think that's what's nice. And that can be provocative, but you've got to realise.
Sorry, I've got to stop you, mate, because the little earpiece has come off in his ear. He can't get out. He's terrified. He's terrifying people.
He's doing a live show.
Oh my god! Calm down. So can you hear us? Is it still in there, or is it?
He's stuck in there.
But can you hear us? Can we get some tweezers?
I can hear it.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
This happened once. He went to the shops and he with it, and he had an earbud sticking out, and he didn't know till he got home and looked in the mirror. He'd been shopping with an earbud. Just. So there's the science. How does this man function, for Christ's sake? That's the science.
Got it. It's all right. We're okay.
For Carl, just to follow up on that.
Look at the way he sat.
Your mates and stuff, but don't you get sick of them calling you a moron?
Yeah.
Do you think of yourself as a moron?
It does me head in. But no, and I think when people watch the programme, they'll realise that I'm not a div. They'll see themselves in me, I think. Most normal people who, aren't travellers and go to foreign places and stuff, it is a shock to the system. And I think they'll see themselves in me. But it does get on my nerves with, they're always annoying me. And I know people
You
always
look
sort of say, oh, it must be great being mates with Ricky. But it isn't. I'll tell you what it's like. It's like when you get a dog and it seems like a good idea at the time, doesn't it? You go, oh, it'd be great to have a dog around the house. And then you realise it's a pain in the arse and it's shitting everywhere. And everyone's going, oh, what a cute dog. The people who come round love that dog, but they don't know what it's like, the ins and outs of having that dog. And that's what it's like having him as a mate.
So he was kidnapped without realising. 2 men appeared, put a bag over his head and dragged him into the back of a van. That was a highlight for you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he thought it was real. And it's one of the funniest 2 minutes of television I've ever been involved in. He was honestly terrified. Thoughts, Carl?
I was properly terrified. I was talking about today. I was aware that I had a heart. Do you know, like when you get stressed out, your heart beats harder than it normally does. I could feel it in my head. I'm not sort of an adrenaline junkie. I'm not the sort of person who likes danger. I don't do bungee jumping, skateboarding.
What do you do?
What else?
You don't do anything.
No, I don't need that sort of danger in my life. So to suddenly be sort of being battered, chucked in the back of a van and that, I think it's probably the scariest I've ever been. Your day isn't an average day. What you do isn't an average day. You don't do anything normal. It annoys you when you call me and I'm at home doing DIY or whatever. But that is a normal life.
Right.
And I don't think you live in the real world, really.
Because that's not my job. Plumbing and tiling and grouting. And I called him once and he had his hand down a drain, just covered in shit and pubic hair. He was going there. Okay, why am I going to go, ooh, got any drains blocked, right? I earn more than a drain cleaner. So why would I do it myself when I can hire a drain cleaner? He's embarrassed by doing this. I love him. I love his attitude. He's great. I can't believe we found this man who is never going to be touched and ruined by fame, right?
It's not even about that.
What?
I don't understand why you're happy to hand over a load of money when it's something you can do yourself. It doesn't matter how much you earn.
Because I'm out.
I'm
busy. I'm doing
busy all the time. I've seen you leave the office with him at 3:30, but you'd still get someone in to clear the shit out of your brains.
Because we're intense. We work for 3 hours. And when we're geniuses.
They said it earlier.
We're They said that. We're geniuses. Einstein didn't put his hand down Bob's.
Can I just ask, the person who asked the question, I couldn't hear your name because there's a lot of noise and delay and everything. Do you put your hand down the drain and clear your own shit out, or do you tell someone to do it?
I know the answer.
What was the answer? She calls her managers or the maintenance people. She does not do it.
Manager?
Apartment manager.
Like her building manager, not the bloke who's her boss at work.
Oh, man.
Okay,
That's amazing. That's the science right here. How does it function? How has it lived for 38 years? We don't know. Let's ask science.
For Carl,
God.
Carl, if they're going to see you as sort of a lovable moron, how would you describe Stephen and Ricky?
Oh, God.
Are you the real brains?
Oh, we are. Look. Free reign.
I've always described Steve as weird. That hasn't changed in the 7 years I've known you.
What? Why is he weird?
It's just when I first met you, the look of you. There's no point, you know that. I've told you time and time again. It was just a shock. The height, it didn't help because you're next to something that's smaller than the norm anyway. So you two came in, it was a shock. I've got used to it now. If I don't see you for a few weeks now and again, I sort of go, bloody hell. I've got used to it. But I'd say strange is the description for Steve. With Ricky, I kind of think like an iron lung. that I sort of need him, but I wish I didn't.
Ricky, Carl, Steve, thank you so much for being here today.
Coming this January to Science Channel.
My cheekbones are killing me. That was excellent. Absolutely. That is one of the best best interviews I've watched, and I don't
Well,
usually
I've
watch
got
them.
I've got a couple. I've got a couple of interviews lined up. If we've got
Oh
enough
my
time, we
God.
can get another one. But
Yeah.
that was amazing.
That was hilarious.
Oh, don't you think though that Carl is he's so relatable, isn't he? I mean, I can relate to what he's saying.
He is, and the thing is, he just looks. Ricky Gervais is right, because he will never be spoilt by fame. He will always be like grounded, if you will,
Yeah.
But always
It's
wanting him up at night.
he's doing that.
What's that?
He's doing this like.
Yeah, I love it.
He's got no etiquette at all. He just is how he is.
No, and it's like what you see is what you get, But it's just brilliant. He really is. He's literally one of those guys. I would say I'd love to sit down and have a drink with in the pub with his long suffering. Well, she must be a wife now. Are they married now?
I don't think they are still. I don't know. I purposefully don't look up anything just in case I bump into anything that might spoil reactions or anything, because it's hard when people always say you must have seen this because it's popular. I'm like, well, I've seen bits. I watched Idiot Abroad. That's how I know Carl. Well, I don't know anything else. I don't know anything else, you see. So it's so good to see it.
I watched Ricky Gervais when it was on BBC.
The Office?
Yes. Yeah, I watched him there. And then after that, I heard about the podcast. And I think it was on the Beeb. And I thought, oh, do you know what? Let's watch it. And I couldn't stop laughing. It was every episode was worth watching.
Was this the cartoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
So someone said to me that, it's been on, it was out years ago because it's a podcast. And it's like, I never knew that. But I said, how brilliant now they've brought it into cartoon that, tantalizes your visual as well as what you're hearing. But
they were pioneers in podcasting because they were doing all that in the early 2000s. Before podcasting happened, it became a phenomenon in its own right.
Yeah, it's absolutely hilarious. And I have to say, I mean, I can watch any one of them now and it still makes me laugh big time.
Well, we're gonna end this video and we're gonna do another one before Davey comes on. So say goodbye.
Toodaloo.
I'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.
Bye.